video I want to share with you a book that I found incredibly useful during my pregnancy. There are so many books out there and sometimes it's a bit hard to know which ones will be right for you. So I'm hoping that by sharing this book and what I loved about it, hopefully that will help you know whether it's a book that you may be interested in reading as well. So the book is What to Expect When You're Expecting, and it really does what it says in the title. It gives you so much useful information about all aspects of being pregnant. And one of my favourite parts of this book is that it gives you a weekly rundown on what's happening with your baby and how your baby's developing. And that's in a section called Your Baby This Month, because the book is broken down by months. And within that section, you'll get information about how big your baby is, how much they weigh, and all of the other changes that are going on. So whether your baby's eyes are developing, whether their lungs are maturing, or their brain cells are multiplying, it's really, really lovely to hear and read about what's going on with your baby. It will also compare the weight and size of your baby to a piece of fruit or a vegetable, just to help you visualise how big your baby is, because sometimes when you're looking down at your tummy it's quite hard to imagine what's going on in there and how big your baby is. So I really, really loved that part of the book so that I could visualise the size of my baby. And as well as learning all about what's going on with your baby, it also gives you some information about what's going on with your body as well. So what's changing, how your body's preparing for your baby, and also it runs through different things that you may be thinking about or that you may be feeling. And I found that so lovely to read about, just to know that what was going on and these feelings that I was having were completely normal and to be expected. And also if I had any kind of symptoms, for example backache or itchy legs or anything like that, there were usually some tips in here to let me know how I could ease that discomfort, but also a bit of information about why it was happening. And for me, I love knowing all of that stuff. I love all the science behind things and I love all the detail. So that worked really well for me. So as well as telling you about how your baby's developing and how your body's developing, it also tells you about the different appointments that you may be expected to have each month and what may happen at those appointments, and gives you some tips on questions that you may want to ask to get some more information from your midwife or the consultant or at your scan appointment. And for me as a first time mum, that was great really, because there was so much going on, so much that I was kind of interested in learning, that sometimes you don't quite have the headspace to think about the questions that you may want to ask. So having a handy list there just to give you some tips or even a starting point on those things that you want to ask at appointments, for me was just great. So not only does it cover your baby's development plus your development plus those appointments, but also there's a part on labour and giving birth. Now, I was a bit naive about what labour entailed and what actually it would be like to give birth. All that I had seen was what you see in kind of movies, those big dramatic scenes of your waters breaking and being rushed to hospital to have your baby. And my understanding from speaking to midwives, other mums, and my own experience now is that while that may happen, probably not going to happen for you. That's kind of quite a rare occurrence for it to happen like that in those big dramatic scenes. So for me, reading that section was really useful to know actually what are the different stages of labour, how do I even know that labour has begun, and what could a contraction feel like, what may it be like if my waters break, will my waters break, because I found out from reading this as well that not everyone's waters do actually break. And so just having that knowledge just in my head that I could read whenever I wanted to read, dip back into whenever I wanted to, was just so useful. The book also covers the first 6 weeks of your baby being here, and while during my pregnancy I didn't even really look at that section because I was just so focused on what was happening right now, how my baby was developing, which really for me is the best part of the book. It's actually nice to read after your baby's here and your emotions are running so high. You've got this lovely baby that you've carried around with you for 9 months now in your arms, and your hormones are all over the place, that it's quite nice to then have a quick read and be like, oh yeah, I felt that, and oh yeah, I am feeling a bit like that right now, and just to know that it's completely normal. There are also some good hints and tips in there, which yeah, are just great to read really. The other great thing is that there's a free app that you can download that accompanies the book, and the app will give you similar information in the book about how your body's developing and how your baby's developing, but it will also give you a video to watch, and that video will detail the changes that are going on with your baby and what's happening, and that is really great to just be able to watch every week. I know my husband and I used to look forward to every week having a new video that we could watch together and see what was going on with our little Theo. So this is a book that I found incredibly useful, and I hope that you will find it just as useful as I did if you choose that this is one of the books that you would love to read.
Hey folks, we hope you've enjoyed this video and took some really great ideas to help you on your journey through life.
We'd really love to hear from you, so leave us a comment, and if you want to continue on the journey with us, then subscribe to our channel.